My friend, welcome to the world's best kept secret podcast, the podcast that shows spiritual entrepreneurs how to clarify their message and then how to turn that clarity into revenue. I'm your host, Prima Jope, a mentor and message expert since 2020. Whether you seek to simply clarify your message or feel ready to monetize your brilliance, this is your safe space for actionable guidance and practical tools on how to turn your woo into predictable revenue. Let's get started, shall we? Ten years ago, I started a boutique and I thought I sold clothing. And what happened for me is I didn't like who came through the door. And everyone wanted it for the cheapest price and for the biggest discount. The business was really miserable to start with, and I didn't like what was happening for me in the business because everybody was trying to negotiate me to the floor. And everyone stopped buying from me the time they realized that there was something cheaper out there. I didn't like it, but I didn't know how to fix it. And one of my friends said, but what if you stopped selling clothing and did something else? And I was like, what? And I was like, well, people come here because they probably want to be more confident. They want to look better for their dads or get jobs or whatever. And he said, what if you stop serving everyone and then you started serving like the corporates who want to maybe own the boardroom, own their dates, or just feel more confident? What if you saw the feeling? And I thought, interesting. He wasn't a business coach or anything, but I was like, I love that. And so I started saying, my business is about empowering the corporate man in Africa to own the room. And I created rooms. I created wedding rooms, like going to a wedding. I created dates, like going on a date. I created boardroom, and I created like just everyday life. So my business stopped being like I was selling clothing and I started selling own the room. And in my store, I had sections of different rooms. So there was the CEO room, and then there was the date, like the magnetic date, and then there was like the boardroom, and then there was like, I don't know, the party goer, whatever that thing was. I started to think, what does a corporate man care about? And how can I label this so that he can choose what he likes? And I'm telling you this story because what I want to tell you today is kind of, there's nothing much that really matters if you don't get your message crystal clear. The lesson for today is going to be like my experiences about how people skip the most fundamental thing in the business, which is the message, and how that keeps pulling them back to the drawing board. Really. I'm just remembering, like, it was like 6 months ago from now. And a lady came to me and she was convinced she needed traffic. I need more traffic. I need to get in front of more people. I need to get in front of more podcasts. I need to run ads. She was very convinced that she needed traffic. But then when I spoke to her, I realized that she didn't have a traffic problem. I realized that she had a clarity problem. Like her message wasn't clear. And as I always do, I suggested to her that we work her message first before she worries about anything else. And so I offered her some intensive or like some intense time to really work her message. And she looked at my offer and told me, no, I want traffic. And I was like, okay. One of the things I've really learned the hard way is sometimes the best way to help someone is to be like a believing ear. Like whatever they want to do, just believe them. And hold that space for them as they experiment, whatever the thing they feel like they want to experiment. And I recall, I was like, okay, you want traffic? I have never been viral. I don't know how to go viral if that's what you want. What I do know how to do, though, is to get in front of the right people with the right message so you can get hired. But if you want to go viral and you want a lot of traffic, maybe you need to hire somebody else. And so she went and hired this guy who did art. The guy actually did like 90 days help her get traffic to her videos. And her video went viral. She had over 300K people watching it. A month later, she messaged me and she said she wanted to buy my offer. And I asked her what happened to the traffic. And she said, I notice now that I don't need traffic. Doesn't matter how much traffic is hitting your site or hitting your videos. If you're unclear of your message and you're unclear of your process for converting these people into clients, it doesn't matter. She made 0 sales from over 300K people hitting her video. That is when she decided to hire me. And I wanted to share this because we can really very quickly go up and start doing everything else. But if the message is not clear, nothing matters. And before even the message, I would consider that the most important thing in business is you having the ability to deal with your buttons. There's a lot of people who think they have business problems. They think business is hard. They quit and all of those things. But really, it's a game of looking in the mirror. I see business as a game of personal growth. And for me, for most of my clients, the first thing that I encourage them to really constantly check is checking those buttons and like really checking if the person that is running the show is the person that needs to be running the show. Business is hard as it is. And if you do not do the work that you need to do on yourself, I can guarantee you, you will quit. I like to frame it as the ability to have a clear lens. So when clients don't buy, what does that mean? Maybe it doesn't mean that you suck. Maybe it means something else. When clients quit, what does it mean? When something doesn't work, what does it mean? How long are you willing to try something before you throw in the towel? How long are you willing to try and make things work before you actually give up? Procrastination, fear, doubt, anxiety, stress. All those are things that really need to be dealt with if you're going to be a messenger carrying a message for a bigger cause for someone else. And most people skip this and go to the strategy and they keep stuck or they quit because they didn't do the fundamental stuff. The truth is you bring yourself to the business, so the better work you can do on yourself, the better you can run the business. And so I would like to challenge you to look back in your own growth journey and see what buttons you can deal with. What can you do to silence external noise so you can start listening to your inner wisdom more? What can you do to find more places of peace and joy in your day-to-day life? What can you do to feel like more abundant, to feel like there is enough for everybody? What is it that you need to deal with to feel like you're worthy, that you're good enough? What do you need to deal with to surrender, to step into the ability for you to actually be more because you know that you're made for more? This is not a topic about inner works, even though that's like really 80% of the entire business game. But this is me giving you a nudge and saying, where do you need to look? What do you need to deal with? You know, what are those blocks that need to be dealt with? Because if you don't deal with them, they will drag you backwards. And this is usually a topic I have with people when I see things cropping up for them. And because I have seen people struggle, not because of strategy, I have learned to bring this within the day-to-day of the client so that we can hand in hand work on these blocks that come up from time to time. So where in your life can you adjust the buttons to help you win whatever the game you're playing? Think about any emotions you have of contraction and think about how you can make those feelings of expansion. Fear is contraction. Stress is contraction. Anxiety is contraction. Procrastination is contraction. What else? Doubt. What are all these feelings that you can begin to look in the mirror and say, okay, this thing here, I need to deal with? How can you find more peace? How can you find more joy? How can you find more confidence? How can you find more belief in yourself? How can you find more power to keep going? That is really the first thing, and I'm not going to talk about more of that. There is an endless experts that I have had on the Best Kept Secret podcast who deal with all of these internal game things. And I would encourage you to hop over and listen if you need help with anything internal, because until you make yourself get real success on the inside, the external success will be like a constant battle. So until you deal with these internal things, it doesn't matter what else you try to do because it will be on the outside. Getting to be out of the Best Kept Secret zone is more about who you become on the inside and less about anything that externally is coming to you. But this lesson or this class is about really keeping the main thing the main thing. And I want to talk about message, and I want to talk about how message really controls the whole, assuming this is like a pyramid. Message is the best. If you're thinking about a triangle, message is literally the best of the triangle. And until you get this right, everything else just falls off. Think about this as like building a 10-story building, which is what everyone is trying to do almost, but never really taking the time to lay the foundation. That's almost what it's like. There is a few things that I believe are important for at least best kept secrets to be able to share their message. And the first one is message. Really knowing who is it that you're called to serve. Specifically who. Like, what is the state of mind they are in? What needs to have happened in their life for them to be open to your work? The more specific, the more terrific. Number two, what is the problem that they know they have? There's a problem they know they have, and there's a problem you know they have, or a problem that you find after you work with them or talk to them. But what do they know to be their problem? So that's the who, what, the how, and the why. Who is who you're serving? What is the problem? How are you uniquely positioned to solve this problem? Like, how different, what's your unique twist to solving this problem? What is the unique twist to solving this problem? And why is like, why does this problem exist in the first place? So we have a message and then we have a marketing. The message is the why and the how. The marketing is the what and the who. I wish I could show you this graphically. But when you look at message, it's literally who is the person. I would just encourage you to say, what's the state in mind right now? What has happened in their life for them to know that they are in the market for whatever you offer? You can sell to people who do not know they have the problem. It's just going to be layers and layers. You can also split your audience into three, which is like the primary, most aware, the secondary, and the third. Or maybe the primary, which is the person you can help the most, going down, going down, going down. So that's the what. That's the who. The what is like, what's the problem that they have and what do they want instead? And this is the marketing. So your marketing is the person and what they want versus what they don't want. Really, that's your marketing. The message is, why does that problem exist? What's the cause of it? And how are you uniquely positioned to solve this problem? One of the biggest problems that happen is people mix their message with the marketing. So you start speaking about the why and the how in the marketing, and your audience get confused because they don't care about the how, and they don't care. They only care about their problem. They only care that you know who they are. They only care about what they want and what they don't want. Those are the things they care about. Their problem, what they want, and knowing that there is someone who specifically has a problem, has a solution for their problem. On the other hand, when you leave the marketing, there's a paywall, people pay you, and now behind the paywall, what you really have there is the message. And the message is, why does this problem exist? And how are we going to uniquely solve it? And one of the biggest challenges I see is that people mix their messaging with their marketing and stay stuck for a very long time. I want to give you an example of my own brand so that you can understand messaging. And then off of that, I'm going to show you like how everything really is dependent on how clear you are on this. So we talked about, let's talk about my marketing. Talk about the problem I solve. Talk about who I solve it for. Really talk about what they want. Talk about what they don't want, because that's my marketing. The problem with my people is obscurity. They are amazing at what they do, but nobody knows them, or not enough people know them. So the problem that they have is they are swallowed in the noise of the marketplace, and it doesn't matter how loud they speak, they don't seem to cut through the noise. So it's like there's this invisible wall, and my people, who is the best kept secret, are this side of the wall, which is tall enough that nobody sees them, or the right people don't see them. And what they want is they want to get on the other side of the wall where the right people that they want to serve see them and hire them so they can do the work they're here to do. That's really the problem that my people have, obscurity. Who are they? The best kept secret. If I am to think about the three audiences, which is like the primary, secondary, and tertiary, first and foremost, they're best kept secrets. But secondary, they may not be best kept secrets, but they are just spiritual experts who want to have more clients that pay them well. The third person is anyone who has a great reason why they are running their business, like they're mission driven, they are service driven. So they're like driven to serve first before the payment. And as a result of that, they are not very good at getting paid. So the first person is best kept secret. Life altering message, you're driven by your desire to serve, no one knows you. Second is, you're just a spiritual entrepreneur. You may not necessarily be a secret, but you really want to figure out how to charge well for what you do and get well compensated for it. The third person I serve is the person who may not be spiritual, may not be a best kept secret, but they just want to have better clients. So any coach, any other expert, entrepreneurs. So best kept secrets, spiritual entrepreneurs, and just entrepreneurs. That's like my first, second, and third. When I speak every day, I speak to the first person, who is the best kept secret. When I speak to them, all these other guys can hear what I'm saying. So it's the same for you. Like, who is the person that you're serving? So the problem I solve is obscurity. The person I solve it for is best kept secret. What their problem really is they are swallowed by the noise of the marketplace, and they want to be like a disruptor. They want to be like a movement maker. They want to be like, I don't know what the word is, but they know that in them, they are like an uncommon disruptor. They know that they are a go-getter. They know that they are bigger than the game they are playing right now. And what they really want is somebody who can hold the space for their abilities and gifts and not to be intimidated by them. And somebody who will not try to tell them what to do. Somebody who will just hold a container for them to deliver their message. They're looking like for a midwife, if I can call myself a midwife. Because I never really have what people should do. I only have the ability to hold space for them so they can deliver their own baby. Because everybody that works with me has their own baby that is bubbling on the inside, wanting to come out. And really what I do is just hold space for them to deliver that baby. What do they want? They really just want to just disrupt the market. So that's the marketing. Your best kept secret, you're tired of being invisible and you want to disrupt the market. That's my marketing. What is my message? My message is clear your message, get clear in your message. Create offers that really change lives and know how to get people to pay you so you can move with them and help them win. My message is everything why they're best kept secret. Do your internal work. My message is you do not have to be the best kept secret. My message is your work does not have to be free. My message is you have to become the person who can disrupt the marketplace. So you have to do your internal work. You have to do the work to resolve your own blocks. You have to get out of your own way. My message is people will not pay by accident. We have to understand how to get people from interested to client. But all those things are behind the paywall. My marketing is simply my message, what they want, and message, who it is for, what they want, what they do not want. And maybe even the how can come here, how do I help with that? Which is focus on your message, get it really clear. When we go to the other side, which is my message, you want to list it down so you can kind of see. I wish I had a visual. I don't, but I'm hoping that you're coming with me. On the other side of the message, when they buy my offer, when they buy the book, assuming there's a book, when they are on the inside, now we open the curtains and begin to show them the stuff. So why your best kept secret? Because you haven't really sat down to do your internal work. Best kept secret because maybe you have the wrong motives. Best kept secret because you have a vague message. Best kept secret because you have the experts, bubble syndrome. You speak a lot of expert language and people don't understand what you're saying. The best kept secret because you think selling is bad. Your best kept secret because you think marketing is what? Manipulative? So you kind of have these blocks that are stopping you from sharing your message. Some people are the best kept secret because they have that fear of looking small. And so they're trying to be an Oprah Winfrey before anybody cares about who they are. And so when people hire me, now we really get to the truth of, why are you the best kept secret? Because most people hire me because they think they want to get in front of more people. A lot of people who come in my world come to my podcast because they think, oh, if I'm on a podcast and I get in front of more people, then, I'll stop being a best kept secret. This is really farther from the truth. Because you could become like my client who got around 320, 40 people viewing our video and she got no sale. My hope, my wish, my goal for coming on today is that I can really help you see or encourage you to be sure that at every step of the way that you're crystal clear of your mission, your message, and why you're doing what you're doing, and that you can constantly help yourself become the person that can run that mission, that movement, by getting out of your own way, which only happens when you do your work. The work that is invisible, the work that no one sees, the work on managing your anger, the work on managing your stress, the work on really resolving your anxiety, the work on doing your healing. All of that work is work people never see, but it's the work that helps you either do the thing you want to do or not do it. The work that helps you get past procrastination and just get things done. The work that helps you stop rushing through life and really create more time for yourself. The work that helps you find more joy, more peace, and more abilities to kind of see things move in the way that you want them to. It doesn't matter if you don't do your messaging work, because that's at least what I really believe you need as a best kept secret. A clear message, a high value offer that people actually want to buy. Marketing that hopefully relates to the people that you want to help. Sales. System. For you to create a high value offer, you need to know what people want. If you don't know who you're serving specifically and you do not know what their main problem is, what offer are you going to create? Same as your marketing system. If you don't know what people really want, how are you going to draw them in? What is your free report going to be about? What's your quiz going to be about? How are you going to bring people into your marketing if you don't know what the main thing is that they want? I've spoken to people who I asked, what problem do you solve? And they gave me a list of problems. While that may be true, how are we going to draw people in if we don't know their number one problem? Because all the problems don't matter really. What matters is this number one problem they know they have. So without knowing that, chances are your offer won't convert. Without knowing that, chances are your marketing will be wishy-washy, like people won't understand what you're going on about. People won't come because they don't feel like you understand what they're looking for. Without a clear message, it will be impossible to sell. Because every meeting, every sales call, everything you do is wrapped around the message. What is their number one thing which they want? And what is your plan to fix it? Without a clear message, I don't know how you're going to create your system. Because I have heard, I'll tell you a story. I've heard a program, it was called GCVIP. And what we did in there, the first program I did was how to make money as a personal brand. The second program I had was how to get clients as a coach. So I had this program, people were getting clients, but then most of them didn't know like how to get them to win. So most of them didn't have a process to get them on the other side. And when I saw the program, I was under the assumption that people had a process because each one had gone through the experience that they were trying to help people with. And I thought that everyone had a process, but I realized they didn't, because it doesn't matter how many people got into the door and hired them. No one was getting to the other side. And it doesn't matter how many people you get in your system. If your system is leaking, it really doesn't matter how many people are paying attention. So people would get in from this door and leave on the other door because they didn't get them to the promised land. And so having a system that helps people get to the promised land is very important. Not having a system you think works, but having a system that actually works. So instead of complaining about clients, get people and take them through the system and ensure that it actually gets people there. But none of these things matter if you do not know who you're serving, specifically who is the primary person, the top person. Nothing matters if you do not know what their number one problem is. Nothing matters if you do not know what the number one cause of their problem is. Nothing matters if you do not know how you uniquely solve a problem, like your unique methodology. Nothing matters if you don't know your unique advantage, like your unfair advantage. Nothing matters if you're not clear what your message is and what your marketing is. Because every time you bring your message in the marketing, you chase people away. So I wanted to hop on and really explain that if you are a best kept secret, chances are you've skipped through your message to the yummy stuff. I want the offer, and I want the challenge, and I want the retreat, and I want whatever the thing you've skipped to. But if you've not done the work on your messaging, it's like building a house and trying to put the other flows without a foundation. Does that make sense? And so I want to encourage you, one, where could you go in your life, in your own, which buttons can you take care of? Which buttons are showing up for you? Procrastination, overwhelm, fear, giving up syndrome, not enoughness, unworthiness, doubts. Are you cranky? Are you moody? Are you Are you like reactive? What buttons can you put on the table and decide to deal with? Because this is step number one, becoming the person that can actually break through the wall. As a best kept secret, there's a wall and you're like behind this invisible tall wall. Something I learned from my coach, Rory Vedden. There's an invisible tall wall and you're this side. The Oprahs, the Tony Robbins, and everybody that you see crushing it is on the other side of the wall where everything just comes to them, the traffic comes to them, they fill the events with millions of people, and everything just seems like your dream. On the other side, though, we're here and like everything is just a push, a push, a push, a push. These guys over here, it's just a pull. Like everything is coming to them and they just have to choose and decide what they want. Which side are you? My message is only for people who are here. Like if you're behind the wall, my message is for you. If you're this side and everything is coming to you, you're probably not the person that I'm speaking to. One, what can you do to take care of your buttons? Two, how can you get crystal clear of your message? Would you specifically serve as a primary audience? Can you give them a description like best kept secret? Like mission-driven entrepreneur? Like, can you give them a description, like a 3-word thing that describes them? Because that's a very good way to know that you know, like you're clear who you serve. 3, what's their number one problem? I know they have more problems. I know maybe they have 10, but what's the number one problem? Because this problem is going to help you create your marketing collateral, like your reports, your quiz, your assessments. They're going to come from this one thing. What is their biggest desire? What do they want? They have so many things they want, but what's the biggest one? Because in the end, that's the only thing that matters. What's their biggest, number one desire? Which can be the inverse of their problem. Why does this problem exist? What's the number one cause of the problem? How are you uniquely positioned to solve it? How unique is the way you do what you do? Because no one does it like you. So how uniquely do it? And finally, your ability to separate your message from your marketing. The marketing is in front of the paywall. The message is behind the paywall. The marketing is on top of the book. The message is inside the book. So the way that I like to explain this concept is you're walking in an airport where people run. You know those airports where everyone is just running and running because the gates are so far and all of that stuff. And you just created your book. And it's a book that you want to sell in a very busy airport. And the marketing is really what you put on top of the book. And the message is what you put inside the book. So the moment you begin to put your message outside the book cover, what will happen? People will just keep running past. And so that's how I want you to kind of look at your marketing and your messaging in a busy airport. Like every time you try to create your message, I want you to think, okay, I'm in a busy airport, everybody's running, and this is my book, and one part of it is going to be the marketing, which is what will get them to stop when they have 1 second. I'm like, I must grab that. And my message is what is inside the book, which they will only see once they're on the plane or in their home. One of the biggest things that you can do to help yourself You stop mixing your message and your marketing, because every time you mix your message and the marketing, they don't want it. Keep the message, keep the marketing. Get really crystal clear on your message and see how the other things just come in play. When you're crystal clear on your message, your offers won't be a problem, because your offers is anything that solves the main problem. When you're crystal clear on your message, your marketing won't be a problem, because really it is about marketing to that one big problem they have and that one big desire they have. When you're clear on your message, your sales won't be a problem, because now you can give them a plan to move from where they are to where they want to go. Like, you can explain to them how you're going to get them to the promised land. Being clear on your message and doing your internal work, resolving your own blocks, is going to help you hold space for the people in front of you when they start giving you objections. I need to speak to my spouse. I need to think about this. I need to feel into this thing. A lot of sales get dropped at the time when people are objecting. And a lot of people like to coach through that process. But sometimes you can't coach through the decision making. Sometimes we have to heal through it. If you haven't done your own healing about these things, price and investment, how are you going to help people get over that hurdle? I hope that this lesson served you. I hope that this lesson helped you understand the two key things that help you as a best kept secret: your internal game and a clear message. I hope that this helps you understand the difference between your message and your marketing, because understanding the difference can be everything you need. I hope this served you. And if it did, I'd love to know. I'm building a community for best kept secret, a community that is going to help you get clear on your message, share your message, and get well compensated for it, for whatever the work you do in the world. If you wish to be a part of that, there will be a link in the show notes. Just click on that and join. I'd love to see you on the inside. Have a beautiful day, my people, and I'll talk to you really, really soon. Before I hop off, I would love to know what was most impactful from this coaching conversation. Sending you all the love in my heart. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining this conversation on the World's Best Kept Secret podcast today. If you feel ready to stop keeping your work a secret, head over to primajope.com and request a free conversation. Until next time, please remember that there's no prize in keeping your work a secret.